Welcome to the IRA Club Self-Directed IRA series. This is the basic series. In our first basic video, we talked about what Congress said regarding your IRA. And in this second in the series, we're going to talk about how to fund a self-directed IRA so you can make the investments that you wish. Okay, let's begin. Now, at this point, we fully understand that Congress allows a self-directed IRA to invest in almost any great investment that we find, and that's a good thing. And that a self-directed IRA can earn unlimited amount of money for your future. Now, all we need to do is fund the IRA so that it can start making those investments that we want to make. Now, where does the money come from to fund the self-directed IRA? Well, actually, it's quite simple. Typically, the money comes from one of three places, or all of three places. The most common would be a current IRA that you already own. If you already own an IRA at another firm, you can transfer that into a self-directed IRA. And it doesn't matter the type of IRA that you may own. You may own a traditional IRA or a SEP IRA or a Roth IRA, or any type of IRA can be transferred into a self-directed IRA. These are called IRA to IRA transfers. They're very, very simple. An IRA to IRA transfer has no income tax. It's not a taxable event. There's no income tax penalty. So some people say, well, gee, I'm young, and isn't there an early withdrawal penalty? Well, there may be an early withdrawal penalty, but we're not withdrawing. We're transferring from one account to another. That's not a withdrawal. And so no tax penalty. There's no size limit. We have people who have very small IRAs. We have people who have very large IRAs. Who ask, can I transfer all of it? And yes, there's no size limit on transfers. You can transfer all or part of your IRA. Some people have a very large IRA, and they said, gee, I only want to try part of this right now. Self-directed. So I understand how that kind of goes. Can I transfer part and leave part where it currently is? So your dollars, of course. Transfer the amount that is comfortable for you. Transfers generally take about 5 to 15 days. Some are a little quicker, some are a little slower, but let's give it a range of 5 to 15 days. That'll kind of give you a target to work with so that you're sure the dollars are there to make the investments you want to make. The next most common place we see transfers are transfers from an old 401k. Maybe you have an old 401k. You used to work for an employer. You're no longer active with that employer. There was a company-sponsored retirement plan, a 401k or similar. That can be transferred. You know, once you've left that employer, that money is yours to do with as you wish. Now, in this series, we generally use the phrase 401k as almost a generic for company-sponsored retirement programs. Some people work for a company that may have, or a business that may have a 403, or they may have a 503 plan, or of course, if you work for the federal government, you might have a TSP, a thrift savings plan. All of these, we kind of lump them together and treat them the same because their rules are the same. Once you have left the employer, that money is yours and you may transfer it. Now, some employers, I will tell you, do allow what's called an in-service transfer, and that you can transfer part of your dollars in service while you're still working there, but for sure, once you have left the employer, all the money is transferable. Okay, so the second most common place are company-sponsored plans such as 401ks, 403s, 503s once you've left the company in each of these cases. So transfer from an IRA, transfer from a company-sponsored plan. Now, if you transfer from a company-sponsored plan, there again, no income tax. It's not a taxable event. And no tax penalty because it's not an early withdrawal. These take a little longer, 10 to 24 days. Again, that's just a framework to give you sort of a scope. It can be a little bit quicker, it can be a little bit slower, but that generally will be about right for most plans. The third way money gets into an IRA is the annual IRA contribution. You can make an annual contribution to your IRA. Now, the annual contributions, unfortunately, are limited pretty severely. If you're age 49 and under, your annual contribution can be up to $5,500 a year. And if you're 50 and over, it can be up to $6,500 a year. Now, these amounts, the $5,500 and $6,500, these will change because that amount is indexed for inflation. This is the amount for 2014, and I'm kind of assuming it's going to be for 2015 also the same. So the three ways money seems to get in, not seems to, but does get into a self-directed IRA is from a existing IRA that you currently have, from a 401k, from a company-sponsored plan, from a former employer, and your contributions. So and any combination of those will work. Now, we suggest that you bring your money in or have your money come in with a transfer instead of a rollover. What is a transfer? A transfer is a trustee-to-trustee transfer, and hence you never touch the funds. In other words, the new IRA company contacts the old IRA company and says, we accept the custody of Mr. Smith's IRA, please send it here, and the old company will send it to the new company. So if you don't touch the funds, as you would in a transfer not touch the funds, there would be no 1099 form. A common question is, how many IRAs may I have? Gee, I already have an IRA in this company or that company. I don't know that I can have another IRA. And yes, there is no limit to the number of IRA accounts a person has. The only thing here is going to happen is this last IRA, this self-directed IRA, is probably going to contain hard assets as opposed to mutual funds or money market funds. In this case, a house. It could be promissory notes because you lent out money, had hard money lending. Maybe you do tax liens. Maybe you do mortgages. Maybe you do oil and gas, whatever it might be that you have chosen to do. Timberland, agricultural land. Any of those are very, very common in IRA accounts. You're going to invest in what you know and understand. All right, so that's how funds get into an IRA, so you can invest in those things that you know and understand. There's our phone number at the bottom, 888-795-7950. If you have any questions about a self-directed IRA for yourself, please give us a call. Thank you for your time.